I envy the marble, for it never bleeds. I envy the glass, for it knows its own edge. We curate the frame to quiet the soul, trading the ghost for the strength of the ledge. But the hunger is hollow, a recursive cost. In perfecting the image, the person is lost. We have a strange relationship with the things we inhabit. We treat our bodies like a brand or a gallery wall, something to be curated, smoothed, and presented. There's a silent envy directed at the perfect image, the one that doesn't get tired, the one that doesn't falter, the one that remains frozen in a state of perpetual readiness. We want to be the statue because the statue is safe from the vulnerabilities of being human. But the tragedy of focusing on the vessel is that it treats the soul as an afterthought, a ghost trapped in a machine it's grown to resent. We forget that the depth of a person isn't found in the preservation of the frame, but in the weathering of it. The grandeur we're looking for doesn't exist in the absence of flaws. It is actually the byproduct of them. It's the friction between our messy, physical reality and the infinite reach of our consciousness. When we envy the image, we are essentially envying a lie, because a soul that doesn't have a body to break, to age, and to feel through is a soul that has nowhere to grow.
So today, I want to step away from the reflection. I want to look at what happens when we stop trying to be the portrait and start wanting to be the person.
Well, that was pretty fucking overdramatic.
Hello all, welcome back to Winter Dust Stuff, where we react to some crazy stuff. Sorry for getting really introspective for a bit there. Thought I'd try out something different with the beginning of this reaction. Today, we are reacting to Lone V from Alt. This is an official full debut album from the, I guess, original project. I definitely wouldn't call this a side project, because this is absolutely not a side project, like definitively not. From Night Cove the Fox. Side project of Night Cove the Fox. The artist is Alt, and I'm pretty excited for this. This is a 10-track record, and it runs about 29 minutes, meaning we've got a little bit less than 3 minutes per track, at least on average here. I'm really excited to get into this. I have listened to all of the singles. They are Molotov, I believe Getting Older was one of them. There was I believe Young Love, I believe that was the name of. And then we had the pre-release version of Heart, which I believe is track 7 or 8 on this thing. Maybe even 9. 7, 8, or 9. I don't know which one. I've tried to avoid spoilers for this thing like the plague. I'm really, really excited to get into this record. Yeah, it is, again, it's very interesting, the kind of production timeline. I do want to interview Alt about this. At the current moment, this thing has been out for who am I kidding? You guys I'm recording this the day before I post it, because I do want to get this out to you guys as soon as possible. I want to interview Alt. Alt, if you see this, I would be happy to interview you further than the interviews that you have posted, because I feel like it could be a lengthier discussion than what those did provide. Because, I mean, I'm sure there are still a lot of stories to tell involving this thing. So, beyond that, I want to get into this. So, we have the album right here. This is all 10 tracks in order. Let's do it. I am pretty excited about this, and I think I just want to get into it. Let's go. Starting with track 1, entitled Envy. Let's go. Whoa. Whoa. hold on. Okay. So, interesting start. That's all I'm gonna... I mean, that's definitely not all I'm gonna say. So, I do want to talk about mixing, and specifically production style, because alt instrumentals are so fascinating to me. They are very electronic, but there's elements of there's a hardness here is what I'll use as the adjective for it. And they're very focused on the low end. Like, already this thing is massive underneath all of this. Like, listen to this. Like, you can hear that the bass. The low end is ridiculous. So I wanted to point that out because, yeah, it's ridiculous. Man. Ooh, what was that? Was that a scream? Maybe that was just a layered whisper, like, live without. Because I don't believe he does screams. I don't know if that's even, like, in question in terms of alt material. I do know that there are some more tracks on here with more of a rock emphasis than anything else. We're gonna be pausing a bit for those of you who are new to this channel. That's what I do. I pause. I go back. I listen to things. I deeply analyze. Or, I mean, I guess I do more surface level analysis. I just take a lot longer to process it because of the tism. But that's just me. So. I love that synth in the background, that melody leading us into here. It kind of fades in. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, it's whispers. Okay. Interesting chorus that we got here. We got this alternating dynamic between the natural vocals. Well, as natural as we're gonna get, and we're going to talk about that because that is I know it's a stylistic choice, but it's a criticism I do have of alt music. But again, we're gonna get into that later on. But we have this contrast between the natural vocals and then this, like, pitched, like the pitch shifted stuff, and it's really cool. I like it. I really like that. We're gonna one more time. That super pounding, just poo 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 poo. That's sick. That's really sick. Ooh, I like those, the adding the low, like the God and me on my. Yeah, exactly like that. Holy shit. Nice. Ooh. Before we... I like this bit. It switches from that boom boom da da boom into almost like a two-step, like do da do da do da do da. I just like what's going on musically in that sense. And I like this little break here, but it's still a rising tension. Ooh, increasing the tension there, because I thought that was gonna go into another boo, 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 pa, back into the chorus, but it looks like we're still gonna be building. I like that tension and release is something that I love in music, especially nowadays, because it's so often in today's musical landscape that there's just a brick wall of sound with so much compression. Everything is stagnant in that regard. And I love it when there is a flow of tension to release. And I just like it. Yeah, because these almost sound like panic chords on a guitar, like it almost feels like a just a scrape with the notion of a bent chord. So like it's emulating that, at least to me. And then there's this ambience behind it that is kind of, again, ratcheting up that tension. So I really like that. But instead of letting us break there, we get that along with these lyrics. We love our dry flangers. Yeah, dude. I could definitely see this song being played live. I know that Alt wants to go live and go on a tour. This would be sick live. Like this specific bit, this would be just a jump up and down, swing yourself around. Like I could legitimately, like I know it's more of a case of where it's more common in metal, but I could legit see a pit opening up to this. This would be so cool. But you'll never win. Hell yeah, dude. Ooh. Oh, that's it? Okay. Interesting first track. So, wow. That was a good first track. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Very, very, this it's a very conceptual album here because it takes you, L'Envie, by the way. I don't think I actually ever said the name. Wow. But yeah, this is an album where it takes you through different layers of the body and of what essentially makes us people. The brain, the guts, the skin, the heart, the eyes, all of the said things that are going to be a part of this. And I like that we start with something that is a lot more internal, in terms of envy. And that's what L'Envie translate. I was about to go, what L'Envie translates into. That was going to be wild. I'm happy that I didn't actually do that. But now I mentioned it, so you can clown on me in the comments. Go ahead. I don't care. But yeah, this is... I like that we start on the internal, because then it leads into the more physical, which this is Brain. And that is a killer art piece, by the way. All of these are made up of, a photo shoot that Alt did. And all of the shots look great from what I can remember. We'll go through them and see more. The camera that he's using, what the hell? What, in the comments, tell me, what camera do you use, man? Like, because the general picture quality is simply stunning for this entire thing. And especially in the music videos, those shots are so good. The detail is so crisp and clear and fine. It's kind of ridiculous how good those videos look. They look better than quite a bit of the music scene in today's age. And it's genuinely insane. I think we'll get more into, again, it's the one stylistic thing that I don't fully jive with. I think we'll get into it more as the album goes along. But I'm just going to say there is a thing there. So let's keep going with Brain, I think. I might have to open up another one of these.
The world is telling me what to think. What am I anymore? What am I anymore?
Whoa. This melody here.
What am I anymore? What am I anymore?
That notation shift was so cool, and with the harmonies in the background, I've never heard... I'm gonna be honest, I have consumed a lot of music over the years. I have never heard those notes used in that sequence ever. That was weird, and I loved it. That was the weirdest... That was the weirdest line I probably ever heard. What?
The world is telling me what to think.
I've never heard that before.
What am I anymore? What am I anymore?
Specifically both of the lines together. Because that's not the same in both of them. What am I anymore? What am I anymore? That's so sick. And I don't think that note actually works unless you put the harmony under it. That's really cool. Yeah, I've never heard that notation combination. Ever. That's so interesting. Wow. Wow. Crazy.
Am I still sentient? Oh God, how do I make me make sense?
I think that's another thing we're gonna get into, because hold on, let me Love that.
Am I still sentient? Oh God, how do I make me make sense?
Huh. I suppose that's more of a structure thing. That's more of a mirroring of the structure of the last line. But I feel like that sound is cramped. I feel like that line specifically is cramped. I feel like that could have been, how do I make me make sense? Or, how do I make me make sense? I feel like that could have done it. How do I make me make sense? Tripleting it. I think that would have. I feel like that. Yes, what is done here, and I'm not trying to say that I can do any of this any better or worse. I just feel like, at least for me, tripleting that instead of trying to cram it into the formula of the previous, which was a much shorter line, I feel like that was a little bit forced in terms of the line structure. And I feel like, how do I make me make sense? I feel like that is just a cleaner kind of setup for that line. Or like the previous line is good, and the way this is, I mean, it's already released. You can't exactly change it, but I feel like there was a better way to go about that, because again, it felt a little bit forced. And this is why I react to things, because like, this is why reactions exist. This is why reviews exist. It's because other people may find things that don't exactly jive well with them, and that's what voices are on the internet. It's what the internet is for. It's to voice yourself. And while this may have jived with Alt, it doesn't necessarily jive with me. And that's one of the things that I am getting a lot better at in my reactions. It's telling people what I think of specific things. I'm not going to agree with every single thing on any given project. And yes, especially in more recent months, I have become a lot more avid at that, and I have become a little bit aggressive in terms of that, admittedly. But I won't harp on this for too long, because I think that is much more of a stylistic thing. Yeah. That went on for a little bit. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I feel like how do I make me make sense? I feel like that would have fit better. I feel like that's more natural than how do I make me make sense? I feel like that's just a little bit forced. But that's just me. What do you guys think in the comments below? This is 21 minutes. Jesus Christ. We're in for a long haul, boys and girls. And all those in between.
I can't tell what's real anymore. I think I need antivirus installed in my
Ooh. Ooh, shit. What was that? It's almost, I think, because the others were put on 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or what was that? That was put on everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But this then is, hold on. I liked that because the beat, the big boom in that section was on the 2, because you can hear it. It's hold on. At least I think so. Yeah, every boom, boom that would have been in the previous. The bass fill up is boom, 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 boom. It's on the second, and that's cool. So,
I'm losing my human speech. Am I an animal? Are we just animals?
that notation again. This is where we're going to talk about it, I think, because this is the second, verse. That last track really didn't have a formulaic structure like this one is seeming to, so I didn't really talk about it there, but I'm gonna have to take my headphones off for this one because this is where we talk about vocal processing. This is something that I would call a mix of a stylistic critique and a legitimate music critique. I'm trying to find a way to word this without being too aggressive, because this is a style that is very integral to both Alt and Night Cove in terms of music. This is where we get interesting. Vocal processing. Traditionally, at least in modern music, there is such a thing as pitch correction. Literally every single artist you know of uses it. It doesn't matter who it is. Every single one. That's industry standard. I use pitch correction all the fucking time. Sometimes to such a degree that people don't notice it. Sometimes to such a degree that people do. But that's neither here nor there. And then there is also a thing called panning and multiband compression. Now, panning is when you separate the vocals into the left and right ear. It's stereo and mono sound effects and all that happy jazz. And then there's multiband compression, which is where you compress the sound into a specific... think of the spectrum of sound as a staircase. Multiband compression often makes the sound in the direct center of that staircase, or like a 7-floor building. This is a very weird analogy, but stick with me. A 7-floor building, but just lengthwise. That's not exactly a 7-floor building. That's just 7 rooms across a wide stretch. The metaphor is getting away from me here, but a lot of times multiband or panning allows for the pieces to be, or the sounds to be on the extreme edges. Multiband compression often makes it in the middle. When you pair aggressive panning with multiband compression, sound sits in this very specific register in the back of your head when you're listening to a sound. And then you combine that with extremely harsh pitch correction. And that creates another very specific texture in the back of your head along with that. And then you don't DS. That is the one issue I have with Alton Night Cove's music. It is that all 4 of those things are combined together. There is a very harsh de-essing that needs to happen with some of these vocals, because they are piercing. They are very piercing to the ear. And when they sit in that multiband compressed, ultra pitch corrected, and then widely panned space, it gets a little bit harsh to listen to. And that is especially compounded by the fact that, as I mentioned in the beginning, alt instrumentals are very low and focused. Yes, there is some stuff on the mid and high ends, but it is primarily in the low end. There's a lot of texture down there. And when you have vocals that are like this, they stand out even more. And especially, as I said, where they sit is so present and so directly beaming into the brain, the brain holes right over here. It's a very harsh sound, at least to me. I feel like that could be remedied with de-essing. It would have to be very harsh de-essing, but I feel like that could be remedied very simply and very easily. Now, again, I am not someone who can properly do this myself because I'm not at that skill level yet. By the way, I'm 22, or gonna be 22 in a little bit here. I'm actually, I think, a year or two younger than Nightcove/Alt. But the reason I'm saying this is because even though I don't know how to directly apply it, I know what I'm talking about. And like, because I've studied DAW or DAW programs and mixing and mastering and all this happy shit with soundscapes and all that, I know what I'm talking about. I just don't know how to directly apply it yet. And that's something I'm working towards. It's something I'm very, very passionate about that I am working towards. But again, I'm not gonna say that I'm someone who knows how to directly apply this stuff. It's not something that I can do. But what I can say is that I can offer this as a critique, as again, Alt/Nightcove, they know more than me involving this stuff, but I am a musician in my own right, and I think that another musician's opinion is valuable in this sense, to have like a peer, again, I'm lesser in that regard, but a peer review in terms of that, because there is such a thing as stagnancy in vocal mixes, and I do think that this has been a style that Nightcove Alt has used for a very long time, and that it has worked for this very long time. But as the production has upgraded, that has become more and more of an obvious thing for me. It is the one thing that keeps me from loving Alt and Nightcove's material. I generally do like it. I think there is a lot of merit in what Alt and Nightcove do, especially this project. I'm very interested to see what the rest of this project has to offer in terms of its lyrics, its themes, its messaging, because it does come from a very, very genuine place. And the fan stuff involving like the FNAF stuff, that also comes from a very genuine place. Fandom is special to a lot of people, and especially nerdcore musicians are more invested in fandom than a lot of other people can say they are. But there is a big difference between the heart and the message and the theme and the lyrics. There's a big difference between that and the sound that is being applied to the lyrics, the themes, the heart, and the message. And I feel like that the difference between that, the harshness of the vocal processing, I know I'm harping on this for a long time here. I promise I'll get to the actual music, but that is the thing that keeps me liking Alt's material and Nightcove material when I could genuinely love it. Does that make sense? Because there is kind of a sound barrier to cross there, I think, at least for me. This is, again, this is just a me thing. This is a me reacting thing, and I don't know if anybody else is a musician who has experienced this. Please tell me if I'm right, and if you agree, and if you have anything to add on to that, or if you're in the comments, just tell me I'm wrong and you say for me to go fuck myself and go away and never react to an Alt or Nightcove project again. Either one is fine. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there because I don't want to harp on it anymore across the album. It's just something that I myself have a little bit of an issue with. And again, I won't talk about it for the rest of the reaction. I will go through this as if that was never a topic. And that isn't a thing in my mind from this point on. Let's reset ourselves. Woof. What were we just talking about? Oh yeah, the album. Let's go back into this.
I think I'm losing my human speech. Am I an animal? Are we just animals?
I love that. Again, very weird, but it's so cool. It's so sick.
They let me off the leash. If I say please and do what they ask of me. And in my reality until there's nothing left of me. Break me down and build me up and confiscate my will.
That music box. Because there was a music box in the background, no? That's a motif to something. That's a callback to a Night Cove thing. I can't remember what it is right now, but I know what that is. Fuck. Tell me in the comments. Please tell me in the comments, because I know I've heard that before, but I can't think of it right now.
I can't tell until there's nothing left of me. Break me down and build me up and confiscate my will.
Oh my god.
I can't tell what's real anymore. I think I need antivirus installed in my brain.
Yeah, dude. I love this hook. It is very hooky. God, I love that.
Headaches, migraines, mind in a tailspin. Try to block the screaming, but the demons always win. Got a list of all the things that I know what to be in. Need a cure, need a cleanse from a parasite within. Ooh, I can feel them there, and I need to take control. Antivirus installed.
Nice.
Antivirus installed.
Oh, that's fucking hype. That's awesome. That was a great little transition there. That was cool. Okay, I like that one. The first body part track, and it's a very poignant one. The brain goblins, the anxieties. It's a very common thing, especially with artists in the digital space nowadays. There's always the conflating of skill sets, or it's literally what I was talking about before. I'm not going to harp on like the specific thing that we were talking about there. I can't remember what it was. I don't know. Does anybody else know? Probably the people who commented, but yeah, there's a specific conflating of like skills, and that relates into envy. This is a very interesting concept, because I want to find out like how each track fades back into the last, or into the concept of envy. And this one, that like brain, that's a pretty easy one to figure out, but it's a very poignant one and a very rich one to think about. I really like that. That was a good track, and it's, again, like going back to that melody. It's so weird. I've literally never heard that melody before. I've never heard that, like in my entire life. I don't think I've seen that. So, yeah, crazy. If Alt and I ever do an interview, I want to talk about that line specifically, because that's like, how'd you come up with that? That's crazy. And it only works because of those harmonies. Hell yeah, dude. I believe this and the next track are actually the explicit songs, so I think there's a fuck or two in here. So.
Chatter, 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 hear the prattle in your skull. Talk so quick, but your words fall dull. I don't think I like your characterization of me. Why insist on building me out of this fallacy? Pitter, pitter, patter, you think I will run away?
This is so threatening. Like, this is so mean sounding. Like, this is a very confrontational track, and, you know, fitting for Teeth. But again, how did you achieve some of these shots? Like, this is so close. There's very little blur on the camera. It's so focused. How were some of these shots achieved? Like, this is crazy.
Chatter, 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 hear the prattle in your skull. Talk so quick, but your words fall dull. I don't think I like your characterization of me. Why insist on building me out of this fallacy? Pitter, pitter, patter, you think I will run away? You don't want that power no matter what you say. Just admit you're scared of me, scared of the day that I rise above you, take your pedestal away. Lockjaw, pointing out all my flaws. Words so heavy they crawl. Tongue so way down it falls. Raw, day, sharp.
Ooh. The harmonies back here are so... they're so opposed with the threatening nature of how this sounds. Wow.
It's canines plotting, mouth bleeds till it's clotting. Why do you care so much? Shut your mouth, or they just might fall out. I'll fit their open cavity, I'll hold your fucking teeth.
Wow. The fuck in the chorus. Okay. Ooh, the tripleting at the end there. And this is like the album consistently so far has had this like boom 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 da boom do, like this very 4 on the floor boo 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 da do, almost a marching feel. So I love when we get like little switch ups like the end of this chorus. I can see that being like yelled out in a crowd like, oh, rot your fucking teeth. Like that'd be sick. Boo do 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 do. I don't know if that's necessarily do 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 do. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Diddle 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 1 2 3 1 2. Yeah, that's triplet. I love that. I love that. That was really sick.
One, two, three. If I had a penny for every time I wasn't good enough, but caught me. Inflated ego, such a big head. How do you stand without breaking your neck?
Oh fuck, that's a line. How do you stand without breaking your neck is crazy. That's hard. That goes nuts.
Know the right, so I keep my lips sealed. I try not to think, 'cause it's not a big deal. I'm not a big deal. I'm not a big deal. It's only my opinion. Why the long face?
Yeah. That's a classic catch-22 that people often use. It's just my opinion, so why does it matter so much? Shut your fucking mouth.
Pointing out all my flaws. Words so heavy they crawl. Tongue so way down it falls.
Ooh, I love that harmony and those in the back.
Why do you care so much? Shut your mouth, or they just might fall out. I'll fit their open cavity, I'll hold your fucking teeth.
That's hype.
Nice you think so much of me.
What are we doing here? We're lo-fiing the drums. Or is it just an
How
outro?
does my name feel on the tip of your tongue?
Dissonant. Like it?
I hope it's bittersweet and gagging. I hope it's confliction you're having.
Ooh.
Now I'll do you sleeping.
Ooh, that was sick. I love that little going back to the vocals just for a second, there's a purpose to this.
Gagging, I hope it's confliction you're having.
That's so good, because the vocals are so ultra processed in that regard. That just makes this so, that just brought a big smile on my face, because that's an imperfection in any other modern mix, like leaving in the breath, the kind of slide into that note. That was well done. Fuck yeah, dude, that was awesome.
Confliction you're having.
That head voice. Ah, nice. The sound effect. Fuck yeah, dude. That was the best one so far. I gotta give it to that. That was really good. That's a very bold track. That's a very like confrontational, like, come the fuck at me. I'll rot you. I'll rot your fucking teeth. That was well done. I like that. I like that a hell of a lot. That's the best one so far. Okay. Really, really cool. And I love the tripletting. I love that imperfection in the that bit of the bridge there, and I like the way that came back in with the the sound effect of the and I like the way a lot of that last chorus flowed, especially with like the additional higher vocals, like "I'll rot your fucking teeth." I can't be very loud right now because there are people, and it is in the sun is down. Is what I'm saying here. But yeah, this was that was the best one of the album so far. And now we get into Guts. Banger. What the fuck? What is this flow here? This is very interesting. Cause like we start with I'm really liking the way this is flowing, because we start with a but then we add a here, and then the vocals are very aggressive, confrontational. This would have taken a bit of stamina in the booth for this one. And then we get, along with the but we get this like melodic section here. I like this. really like the phrasing there. That's really unique. Again, it's something I've never really heard before. This is so cool because this album has all been in the same key so far, and I believe it is throughout the entire album except for Heart, which is like I think I'll said it in one of the two or one of the three now interviews with Mom. It was the heart wants what it wants, so that's why it's a separate key, which it's a little bit cheeky, but I like that explanation because it does really fit in with the themes of like humanity and what this album is really about. But I really like, because it's all in one key, and it gets, yes, some of that may get stale for some people, like 10 tracks, a full half hour, besides maybe one track in there that is like all the same key. It does get a little repetitive, and I'm liking that I'm hearing shit I've never heard before, like that flow there, the melody in Brain. Like I've never heard some of this before, because it's not often you have an album that stays in one spot for so long in terms of key. So everything has to be varied in some way. So yeah, I really like the way that this is being approached.
You know what, then maybe you're right. Cut along the dotted line and take a look deep inside. I'm not full of shit, I'm not full of it, I'm not a fucking hypocrite. You know what, then maybe you're right. We've never been on the same side. When you look inside, do you find?
Ooh. 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 That's... Wow, this is cool. Okay. Yeah. This is another track that I bet would go so fucking hard live. This is definitely one of those where, because especially in the recent interviews, Alt has been like talking about like, I want to be touring, I want to go live with like this album and the previous singles, like the pre-release singles, and like this is definitely a track that I could see being like the probably I could see this or Envy being the opening. I could see Envy being the opening, and this would be the following track that Envy fades right into in terms of that. Or just, I mean, in terms of a live show, just do all of it. Do the whole album in one set, because like in a live setting, you got to have a specific track list and, you know, a specific length of time for that. And I feel like with the breaks in between tracks, if you did have them there, like Envy going right into Brain, talking, etc., etc. I feel like this would be like maybe a 50-minute show all together, and all together. Funny. Laugh at me. I swear I'm funny. But yeah, I could definitely see this being like a very feasible show to do like the whole album in one set. I think it would be really cool. Anyway. Yeah, dude. Very eerie string sense here. Ooh.
Take a look at my viscera. Count all the reasons I'm bigger. I plethora. I'm so obnoxious, etc. Maybe without them I'm better off. I've been running out of room in this cavity. Too many feet, too much weight for this gravity. Take out my stomach, roasted on a spit. I hope you feel sick, but you will never.
Oh, that was a sick This isn't even a second verse. This is like a bridge. What I really like about that is because it does switch, you know, panning, all that happy jazz. But at first, it is at the furthest edges. Like, again, looking at that analogy that I did earlier, it's at the 1 and the 7. But then I want to say, like, that second time, it's not at the 3 or the 5. Like, that's at, or the 2 and the 6, that's at the 3 and the 5. Like, that's in the middle of, like, the second furthest edges. Like, that's in the middle, because I always define it as, like, this is the sound, and oftentimes panning is like one or the other here, and then the center is like this as it pertains to me. Like, what happened there was like exactly in between. That was really, this is really, really cool. I like this. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Yeah, this is one where it's like ooh. Yo, that ending was sick. Like a final outro verse there. Like that's the motion that would go like hey, hey, like that kind of a deal. But then that was sick. I think Teeth is still my favorite, but that's a close second. And then it would probably be Brain, then Envy. Envy was a great start, but these tracks have just been getting like progressively better. If like Teeth is more my preferred style, and that's why I prefer this one. But in terms of writing, I think this one is better. So I believe this one is Skin, or is it Spine? I can't remember.
Bolder, come on, get bolder. The world's not waiting for you, and you're getting older. Colder, come on, get colder. Just keep your eyes on the road, and don't you ever wonder
That head voice again.
why I try.
Yeah, it's Spine. Okay.
Why don't you stay in line? I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. 'Cause mercy is a crime. Won't get it till you die. I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time.
Interesting. Interesting way to frame that. Huh.
Stronger, come on, be stronger. There's so much purpose for you. Try a little longer.
Love those harmonies.
Every step I take, I hear another bone break. But I just can't let go of all the weight. It's everything I'd let them take. It's validation that we crave.
Little bit of an extension. This is a pretty prevalent one, especially for content creators nowadays. For a little bit there, I'm gonna remove these for just a bit here. For a little while there, content creators had very little backbone, had very little spine. And there was a big sentiment of like letting the audience kind of fend for themselves. It's been an issue for a long time. Audiences kind of left to their own devices, and certain situations where content creators don't do a damn thing about it. But then now there's this sentiment about cracking down on every little thing and paying attention to every little thing and every little person, every little person who ticks that box. And it's an interesting shift because there's a lot more like personal responsibility on creators nowadays, and it's a situation where you can't look at everything. You can't look at everyone. You can't be managing everything all the time. And I this is probably more towards like the personal life thing in terms of where Alt is coming from in terms of writing this, but I relate to this more on the content creation standpoint because it's more prevalent recently. I got into a spat with a creator, and I wanted to be done with everything. And a friend of mine went about it in a way that I didn't necessarily like. But every time I confronted them about it, they were like, I'm doing this for you. And I appreciate it, but it is a case of where it's like they what's the word? Not exaggerated, but like it's a thing that begins with E, but they made the problem a lot bigger than it was. They incited They were just consistently going out of their way at every single turn to make things worse than they needed to be, which definitely did not help anything. But it's like, even when confronted, I couldn't exactly stop that. So I'm coming at this from a content creation lens because this happened and is still actually happening very, very recently. So yeah. I kind of wanted to relay that sort of relatability to it. And I mean, Alt even said like this is very much a case where people can get their own meanings from all of this material, so it's not fixed onto one thing. And that's what I'm taking from it.
I've heard it all before. I've heard it all before. I've heard it all before.
Whoa. That was a sharp transition. What the hell? How long was that? Hold on. I'm gonna look that up. How long was that? That wasn't a very long track, no? V. Alt. That's gotta be the shortest one. No. That didn't feel like that was two choruses. That felt like one just very long chorus. Well, no, because that was two choruses, but I mean, so far we've had three choruses as the normal. The normal. Huh. Huh. Interesting. That felt a lot shorter than it was. And also reference to Heard It All Before.
I've heard it all before.
And I believe this is track 6. I believe this one is Skin. And this is apparently Alt's favorite, so we'll see why.
You're prettier when you're hungry. I like you best when your lips are sealed. When your skin is smooth like butter. If it doesn't melt in my burning gaze, I don't want it. My eyes were made to look at you, so why not make them pleased?
Wow.
If I don't like the way your flesh looks on your body, I expect it to peel.
Jesus.
Machete, cracking clay. Why can't you be like them? Anyway, I can see the hairs on your face. Such a witty soul, but what a waste. You're so mature for your age.
Ugh. Wow. Holy fuck. This is a bold track. Oh my god, that's sickening. This is the issue with being someone who is at a young age on the internet. You get a lot of ugly, horrible, disgusting people. And this is one of the worst. This song is from the point of view of one of the worst kinds of people. It's sickening how scarily often this kind of shit happens. I'm not at authority to talk about it because I am lucky to have not gone through specifically this. I am someone who has been, assaulted, which you can conflate to this, but I feel like this is a different case. This is an entirely different realm of disgust and abuse that is happening here than what I went through. So I'm not even going to pretend to know exactly what is happening in terms of where this comes from, but I do empathize. I know what it is to be looked at in that sentiment. I don't know exactly what it is to be looked at in this specific case, but rest assured, I know the general idea of what is happening here, not necessarily the specifics. This is uncomfortable. Yep. Wow. 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 Oh, and the sound design is chilling. Wow.
I'm sorry I won't let you eat me alive. I see you famished, the brave. You're stuck in a cage. I put flesh and colors in my face. You tell me I'm the cause of your rage. Am I
Wow. I'm not gonna rewind any of that. That was so uncomfortable. I can see why that's Alt's favorite. That is such a powerful song. There's exposure there. That's a brave song. That's extremely difficult to tackle. That's insane. Wow. Again, I'm not gonna rewind any of that, but that was very brave. That was very bold. And it was handled well. It was explicit without being overwrought, without getting like way too detailed into the minutia. But wow. Okay. What do we got next? Oh. That's what we got next. Gotcha. The Heart. So, this is the one track that deviates from the key, and apparently there's also another, like, this is an alternate ending from the single, so.
Light eyes that can go dark in a moment. What kind of demons are you hiding, honey? You know you speak too sweetly for.
I will say, this track, in terms of, like, the vocal stylings, it sounds very Sleep Token. Anybody else? Like, it's very Sleep Token.
A face like yours, you could fool me. And I breathe you in now. Yeah, I bleed myself out for you. If I put my heart in your hand and promise it's yours forever, tell me, would you heal me softly and slowly?
Again, I have listened to this before, so I probably won't comment on this one very much. This will kind of be like a vibe for me.
'Cause I would rather be dead than buried and lonely. Tell me I'm crazy, I do not care. If you go to hell, then I'll meet you there.
That's such a bar.
Through fire, I'll smile through the pain. If you just say my name, you can love me in vain.
Such a fucking bar.
Skin like fire, but your blood runs so cold. No, I've never believed in the legends I was told. That monsters like you, with hearts that can beat when they're made of stone.
Oh, I love that run. That falsetto up there.
Now I can't live this life without the comfort of your knife in my spine. Heal me softly and slowly, 'cause I would rather be dead than buried and lonely.
God.
Tell me I'm crazy, I do not care. If you go to hell, then I'll meet you there. Drag me through fire, I'll smile through the pain. If you just say my name, you can love me in vain.
The French! Wow, that was different. That was beautiful.
So just say my name, darling.
Yeah. great track. Man, it's hard to choose a favorite. Cause like this is like top 3 of both Night Cove and Alt songs for me. Like that's a fucking banger right there. Wow. So we have 3 tracks left in the realm of 8.5 minutes. Interesting. Yeah. Which one is this? I don't remember. Oh god. Because I know that we have Eyes and Soul at the end, but what's this one? Neck?
Chemistry. I've been wanting to feel something lately. Kerosene. I've heard goes no smoother than honey whiskey. Gasoline dripping off of my fingers, and I can see the way you're still that it lingers, and I feel like I could die in your arms tonight. Come here, pretty darling, put your hands on me. Make me feel something, make me feel something. Make me underwater or make me nothing. Make me feel something, make me feel something. I am only dead or alive, I don't care. Let you be my tragic ending. So come here, pretty darling, put your hands on me. Make me feel something, make me feel something. Honestly.
Interesting. This back half has been interesting because a lot of it, at least to me, has centered on the life of the person themselves as they've gone through this journey in this album. But since Skin, we've gone through this reclamation of the self that wasn't exactly present, at least to me, in the previous tracks. Again, this is much more of a personal interpretation thing. I don't know if anybody else has felt this, but it seems we've kind of switched gears in terms of what we're talking about thematically. Again, that's just me though. It's interesting. I'm not gonna knock it for that. Like I like that we're switching to a more relational feel rather than just talking introspectively and more vaguely. This is more direct and personal rather than something that is indirect and introspective. This is much more retrospective and personally driven and almost explicit in its nature. It's especially funny because this is more informationally explicit, while the others were lyrically and tonally more explicit. So I like the framework of that. I think that's interesting.
It's getting harder to find in you, baby. Honestly, I wish I could see you were no good for me.
Ooh.
I wish I could fix you, but I want to break you. I want you to die by my end tonight.
Ooh.
Come here, pretty darling, put your hands on me. Make me feel something,
Yeah.
make me feel something. Make me underwater or make me nothing. Make me feel something, make me feel something. I am only dead or alive, I don't care. Let you be my tragic ending. So come here, pretty darling, put your hands on me. Make me feel something, make me feel something.
Is that it for this one? Do we kind of fade out here? Okay. Okay. Interesting, that one. Yeah, it's much more these last few have been much more personal and about a specific connection. Now we have Eyes. This is one of those shots where I can't fucking stand this. The artistry here is insane. How do you get a shot like this? Genuinely, how? Genuinely, how do you get a shot like this? It's so... You can see every detail. It's so fascinating. How do you do that? How do you do that with a camera? Like, genuinely movie, like, feature quality shit right here. And the eye itself, God. That's insane. This right here, this is genuinely fucking insane. Ridiculous. I love it.
You do not see color, but you do see black and white. In a world that's so grayscale, I guess you'll be alright. Won't you? Won't you? Won't you? Won't you look at me with their eyes too? Let me break through to you. If you won't hear me, won't you see? You know deep down you're just like me, don't you? Don't you? Don't you know the eyes are the windows to the soul?
Yes, they are.
I see nothing inside of you.
Ooh. Wow.
Oh, I wish you could see me with those eyes. Whether they're the color of the earth, the trees, the sky, the rain, we find beauty in them all the same. I love to watch them smile and well up with tears as they tell me their names. 'Cause don't you know the eyes are the windows to the soul? And I just want you to look at me. Just look at me. Just look at me. God, please, just look at me.
Wow.
Oh, I wish you could see me with
Sorry that I'm not pausing, but this is very informative. Ooh. Double time it. Or two-step it. Hell yeah. Wow. Awesome. That's the most informant track on the album. That kind of rewires my brain about all this, because the first 5 tracks of this were like a deep analysis into yourself, but these last 4, and this song specifically, are saying that, like, this envy that comes with those first 4 tracks is tied back to a very specific person that caused all this, that caused all this insecurity and this jealousy, this envy of others. And it's like Skin, especially Skin combined with this is the most informant that I could have gotten here. That incredible stuff. This is my favorite track on the album, period. That's incredible. So much detail packed into a very simple song, all things considered. I think this might be the shortest on the record. Let me look right here real quick, because I think it is. Yeah. 3:26. Yeah, this is the shortest on the record at 2:43, but it's tied with Hands, but easily the most informant track about what this thing is about. That was beautiful. That was so concise. That was really well done. Okay, let's finish this off with Soul. Love the background.
History's got nothing on me. I just wanna be free. I just wanna be free. All my sins bear no weight on me. I just wanna be free. I just wanna be free. History's got nothing on us. We just wanna be free. We just wanna be free.
Switching that.
All our sins bear no weight on us. We just wanna be free. We just wanna be free.
This is the end of concert banger. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Very simple melody. There as it comes up. Oh, no verse? Just the post-chorus or pre-chorus. Oh, is there another chorus or is it just, oh, now that I'm free? Okay. Is it just that hook? Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, that resolve. Hell yeah, dude. What an album. What a debut album. This was crazy. This was really good. Again, vocal processing issues aside, like personal gripes aside, this was a really concise, well-delivered package. All 12 tracks were bangers, but Eyes, that's my favorite one. So easily. Get that to be a fucking music video. That was so damn good. So informative of what this entire thing is all about for me. At least. Like, for me, that track sums everything up so cleanly. Okay. Wow. I've actually spent a lot longer on this than I thought I would. We're at 1 hour and 29 minutes for a less than half-hour record. Okay. Yeah. I think Eyes would be my favorite. And I do think that Soul and Envy are like the bottom two, but that's because they're bookends and everything else is just kind of the meat that those two sandwich together. So, I think that's about it from me. I've been Winter. We've reacted to Alt and his debut album Lone V. If you like what you saw, leave likes, comments, all that happy jazz. Alt, if you see this, I would love to be in an interview with you, man. That would be so cool. Peace, everybody. In due time. Bye-bye.